I think it's about time we get a unique twist to the slasher genre. Is In a Violent Nature that film? In a Violent Nature was an absolute hit at Sundance, and for good reason. The film is a slasher movie with the twist that most of the perspective that you follow is from the slasher. Slasher films of the past try and develop terrible people as we watch them slowly get picked off, one by one, with the final girl remaining. Anything is fair game for In a Violent Nature. Now, experimenting will always be met with criticism, but I'd like to give props as much as I can because it is a tall task. The task is to uproot an entire genre, especially a genre that is super cheap to make. Now, does this film deliver? Let me start out with the positives. It's a slasher movie. How are the kills? This film has one of the coolest kills since Terrifier 2. It's so all out there and it drags on for the theater to continue laughing. It knows how cool it is. This kill is so personal and I would never spoil what this kill is. Trust me, there is one that stands tall amongst the rest. I don't really even think it's that well done compared to what we have, but it's just so funny and something I've never seen. This movie just flips a switch at some point where they dial it up to 11, and it's something I was happy to see. Sometimes. This film is extremely well shot. The woods of Ontario did them some justice. When the film you are watching is entirely shot from behind a man slowly walking, you better be looking at something interesting around your subject. I will say for the most part, this film delivers on that. I like the choice of the 4:3 aspect ratio in this film. This film is trying to suffocate you. It uses the more narrow aspect ratio to hide certain subjects from the frame, which allows very calculated reveals. The choice of no score either felt like an obvious move for a film like this. If you are trying to give us the perspective of the killer, let's completely remove ourselves from all the genre tropes we are used to, and intense suspicious scores are a part of that genre trope. I also feel like this film removes itself from the gimmick conversation. We aren't slaves to the killer's POV, we break the narrative framing device a few times and it creates more impact for those scenes. I also like when it switches away from the wide lens it so commonly uses. Guys, that's really about it for the positives. I was really shocked at how much I didn't like this movie. Let me start with my biggest flaw. This film has a really inconsistent tone. If I had to sum up this movie in one sentence, it would be, can't decide if it's a Terrifier movie or an art house horror movie. This film is legitimately funny with its kills, but it also likes to try and play both sides. It plays with tropes, but I don't think it realizes how close it flies to those tropes. This is a classic case of you might think it's camp, I don't think it is. The acting in this film by the victims is an absolute low light, to the point where it feels like the dialogue of this film was ripped from an adult video. I feel like we are one line away from undressing in every scene with the victims. It's a slasher movie, how much can I crap on the characters? Well, if you're making a slasher film that's trying to add a twist to the genre, maybe have a little more focus on making them film ready. I think the ending is what pissed me off the most here. The ending of this film is something I feel confident in spoiling because it's not what you came to see. If you feel like I'm lying to you, go ahead and click away. The ending of this film is one of the girls running away and eventually getting in a car with a stranger, and this scene lasts forever. It's a total stop and pace. I guess it's supposed to show how traumatized she is at this moment. Like we wouldn't already know that. My instant reaction to this scene was they wanted to make a feature, but couldn't get it up to that golden number of 90 minutes. They were probably in no man's land where they had too much to make a short and not enough to make a feature. It really feels like it wants to end, then it doesn't and filibusters to the finish line. Look, y'all might really enjoy this. The kills might be enough. I was angered by this film and I'm not normally angered by films, especially low budget slasher films. I'm usually very forgiving here, but man, I could not do it here. If I had to give it a number, it'd be like a 5 out of 10. I don't think I'll ever rewatch this, but if you are a slasher fan, you are obligated to see this and form your own feelings. I'll see y'all later.